Welcome to another Tapping on Tuesdays where we use EFT tapping to help strengthen your authentic creative connection. Today we are going to be tapping on what is art. We are not going to be coming to some sort of definitive this is art and this isn't. What we're going to do is play around with the ideas and you can decide for yourself. I have a quick story first. I had gone through a really nice little museum and I had enjoyed it a lot, and I decided I wanted to stay in the space for a little bit. So I was looking for a place to sit. And I found a chair up against a wall. And before I sat there, I thought, I should really just double check. So I walked into the main room where there was a desk and I asked one of the women working there, "Hey, I'm just curious, there's a chair in the other room. Is that art?" And she took a very long, serious pause and then said, "It's such an interesting thing to consider. What is art?" And I said, "Yes, it is. What I mean is, can I sit on that chair?" And she said, "Yeah, you can sit on it." So I went back. But the thing about this is that this was a very ornate wooden chair, beautifully made. I think it was the only one. It was up against a wall and it had a placard with the chairmaker's name and information. It was a local person who had made it. So in my mind, I'm in a museum and I'm thinking, okay, even though this doesn't really fit with the theme, is this art? Should I not touch it? Should I not sit on it? And I thought that would be a really fun thing to be tapping on and just be a little bit playful about. We can, like I said, define for yourself what it is that you're going to consider art and what it is that you may not. And let's do it. So, taking full responsibility for your well-being and all the benefits that you gain from this. What is art? How do we define what is art and what is not? Is there overlap? Is there something that distinguishes whether something is art or not, even if they're very similar? Can we even define it? What is art? Eyebrow point. What makes something art? Side of the eye. If I look around, how much art am I seeing? Under the eye. Is the chair I might sit on at a museum art? If it's handcrafted and made out of wood, very ornate, is it art? Is it functional art? Is all furniture art? What is art? Is paint that spills and looks beautiful art? Is a painting done by an elephant or a raccoon art? Does the age or race or nationality of a person matter if they're creating? Do we focus on the creation or the creator to determine if it's art? Does the intention make it art? Does the fact that somebody might want to pay lots of money to have that framed on their wall make it art? Does having people want to make so-called knockoffs of it make it art? What is art? Is it the attitude in which we do something? We say things like there's an art to it, as if maybe there is more than just skill and talent. Because maybe you can't just be trained in it, maybe you have something special that makes it art. What is art? Do you need to have formal training to call yourself an artist? Is it like there's a difference between a chef and a cook? Is making food a certain way art? What is art? Do the tools we use matter? Is someone just as much an artist if they're drawing in sand as if they're using oil paints? Is a writer still a writer if they're dictating instead of handwriting or typing? Then what's the difference between a storyteller and a writer? Are they both artists? Do we count that as art? And what about a toddler who just splatters paint and calls it art? And then an adult does the same thing, and sometimes we call it art, and sometimes we don't. So, is their intention what makes it art? Is the way somebody does something what makes it art? Is the feeling of their essence or their soul or their passion in it what makes it art? Can we really define art? I know that it's in the dictionary, but can we really categorize it that much? Are there so many factors to take into consideration that maybe some people will say, yes, this is art, and others will not? What is art? Is the furniture maker an artist? Is the architect an artist? Is the car designer an artist? Is the financial advisor an artist? Is it the way that these people are doing these things that makes what they're doing art? Do we need to narrow down what art is? Do we need to expand what art is? Is art maybe also a feeling and interpretation? What is art? All right. You could obviously, in my opinion, keep going for a really long time on this and start going through all sorts of things and deciding, well, what makes this art and what makes this not art. And it kind of led into what makes somebody an artist and what doesn't. And again, there's no definitive, and you can get as outrageous as you want to with some of the things and just I suggest you keep going if this comes up or if this comes to your mind and just play with it a little bit and see how much can fall into the art category and how you might see, okay, well, sometimes it really is like I could feel this person's essence within what they've created, and that's why it feels like art to me. And other times you might look at something like somebody drew something and you're like, okay, it just looks like scribbles. And did you put any thought into that? Did you just go like this? And some people will love that kind of thing, and some people won't. I think of people who like DJs who take other people's songs and piece them together in different ways. Not all of that sounds fantastic or feels fantastic. Some of it feels really great and gets to be like a hit on the radio. They're using other people's art to create their own. You could go into collage, you could go into all sorts of different things where you could say like, okay, well, who's the actual artist here? And well, not everybody who puts together other people's songs are going to get the same vibe and the same attention from it. You could look at the standard songs, like the progression that works for pop music. Why do some of those artists have huge success with it and other people don't? What makes it art versus just like following a pattern? What makes it like somebody's got lots of formal training, but the person who plays by ear might have a lot more soul in it, so to speak, a lot more creativity happening. And that's not meant to be a judgment. It's just something to consider because you can have somebody obviously who's got the formal training and plays by ear and has lots of creativity, but you can have some people who are really well trained, and that doesn't mean they're especially creative, and therefore are they actually really making art? If it's very routine, if it doesn't have that passion and if it doesn't have that self-expression or soul expression, is it still art? Again, not trying to make it right or wrong, just things to consider, especially for whatever it is that you might be interested in creating. And keep tapping on it and keep playing with the ideas of it and see how it shifts for you. Maybe you're more narrow in your definition. For me, I'm kind of like, it's really hard for me to define it because I'm looking at all these different examples and I'm like, well, I can feel art and all of that, but it depends. It really depends. Yeah. So keep tapping, and I will see you next week on another Tap In on Tuesdays.